Welcome back, dear viewers. In the last chapter, we delved into Marcy's tumultuous life and a chance encounter with the mysterious Taylor. As the story unfolds, join us in exploring the twists and turns that lie ahead in Marcy's quest for freedom and love. Buckle up for the next thrilling chapter of love, lies, and liberation.
Stay tuned.
Receiving a text from Taylor wasn't what I expected. But that is what I needed. Jeffrey was at the table, my back turned to him as he munched on some French toast and sipped some hot coffee. My cell phone was on silent. I always keep it silent. So, Jeffrey's nosy ass doesn't get all clingy. With one hand I grip the phone, with the other I pretend to wash and be totally focused on the task at hand.
Taylor, hey, how's your day going?
Marcy, good.
What's up?
Taylor, I was bored. Just having some coffee now. Marcy, wanna hang out in an hour? Taylor, yeah. Your husband won't mind. Marcy, not at all. Pick you up at your house? Taylor lives just next to me. It will be easy. I can do this without alerting anyone around, most likely. Jeff would mind very much that I was hanging out with another man. I don't care. I'm done being cooped up in here like some dog waiting for its owner. I'm tired of the fear. I'm tired of hating every moment I'm here. It's time for me to rebel. I hug Jeff before he leaves for work, making him think I'm on my best behavior. I don't want to overdo it. Then he might think something was up. As his car zooms out of the driveway, I smile. Not that fake smile I gave him. Not that submissive facade. I genuinely smile because I think today is going to go very differently than usual. First thing is first, I have to get out of this damn sundress. I didn't mind putting on my best makeup for Taylor. Some bright red lipstick did the trick and some eyeshadow. A black tank top and skin black jeans with shiny boots complete my look. A look that I feel confident in, and that's what truly matters. With confidence comes attractiveness. Jeff had bought me a car and it sat beside his. I'm surprised at him being so controlling. He didn't sell it and locked me up. I guess I wouldn't put it past him. Stopping at Taylor's one-story home, she rolled down the window to her BMW. As she parked awaiting the man's arrival, she realized she should have done this a long time ago. Get the house clean, get dinner plans laid out, and then bolt out of the manor for some fun. Her fear held her back from such things. Her fear of being hurt, fear of Jeff seeing her in public. The man had a tight grip on her soul. She gazed at Taylor exiting his home. She glanced at his pickup truck which sat on one side of the home, a spotless housekeeping vehicle. I feel like he's moving in slow motion. Like some cheesy 80s movie. His shirt was tight around his biceps, his jeans perfectly fitting and complemented his toned legs. His blonde hair spiked ever so slightly. I know I shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but I am. Hello, Marcy. Taylor spoke, adjusting his seatbelt as he felt the car drive forward. He still seemed stiff. I wasn't sure if it was because of his work, but even in this space he seemed a bit uppity. I was born with autism. In special ed classes my whole life. Spoke Taylor, sipping his hot coffee, sitting across from the pretty Marcy. Really?
What was that like?
Sipping her drink, she looked into his eyes. Not focusing on his flawless body but taking in his story of youth. I made some friends. Met some annoying people. Just like in regular classrooms. I was a shy kid. Not into sports or movies. I was good at carpentry and weightlifting. Barely said a word. Teachers treated me like I was dumb when really, I had a million thoughts going through my head about how they could treat me better. Maybe that's why I think no one wants to be with me. They drilled into my feelings of isolation and being that one disabled kid. Well, you seem upstanding. Strong. Kind. One day you'll find someone. You are so much more than your disability.
I can tell.
Marcy nodded, sipping her iced latte. Taylor caught a few glances at Marcy. He loved her smell. He loved her eyes. It was no wonder she was married. Any guy would sweep this woman up. Thank you, Marcy.
That's sweet.
He let out a soft smile. She loved seeing him relax. Even if it was just for a moment. I am a bit weird, I think. Too weird for some. Maybe you're right, though. Maybe I will find that a man or woman. Well, I don't think there's such a thing as normal. I'm in a loveless marriage currently and am controlled by a man who, I fear, a sexist person with cognitive disabilities. No one would call that normal or healthy. She inhaled deeply, her thoughts momentarily getting dark. Feeling fear like Jeffrey could appear out of nowhere. In her exhale, she then remembered who she was with. Like the weight of her volatile life was lifted from her heart. Someone else knew of the trouble she faced. I'll go to the police with you. Get that whole mess sorted. No one deserves to feel unloved. Taylor frowned. Jeff is high up. Friends with all the bigwigs in town. He could hire a great lawyer. Throw me in prison. Sadly, it's not an option. Plus, one of his family members is in the police force. I really doubt he'd let Jeff do real prison time. Trust me. I've gone through all the options. I hope I can at least make you happy today, Marcy. Both reached for one another's hands. Blushes formed as coffee was paid for. Taylor stood by my side as we walked to a local mall, probably on the lookout for Jeff. I hope he won't just violently attack Jeff. I doubt he would. He's too sweet. I honestly felt like I had my own bodyguard. He towered over all the other guys. Girls looked at him, so did some men. We didn't buy anything except for a few pretzels at Auntie Anne's, which I paid for. Along with his coffee from earlier. God knows I have more money than I know what to do with. Yes, my money. Today Jeff owned nothing. If Taylor wanted $100 shirt, I'd buy it without hesitation. I'd also gladly watch him model such clothes. He didn't ask for such things though, he was content just to chat and chuckle. As we left the mall, Taylor insisted on carrying all 3 bags full of clothing for both of us. Sometimes I got lost in his good looks, sometimes my mind would wander about other things I wanted to do with him. Only if he consented, of course. I drove Taylor home in the early evening. Hopefully Jeff won't be home for a little bit. I had a perfect time, Marcy. Smiled the man as he grabbed a paper bag with an Old Navy logo on the front, containing the new clothes he bought. I did too. I want to see you again. Nodded Marcy, sitting behind the wheel of the idling car. As do I. Taylor petted Marcy's hand softly and then left. She watched him leave. Her happiness was walking away, and soon she'd be subjected to a life of fear. Today was a distraction, but distractions can't last forever. Taylor turned as soon as Marcy began to drive off. He briskly walked down the front steps of his home and stood near the passenger side door. The window was rolled down. Marcy looked at him with slight surprise. Do you want to come in? He asked with a blush. I'd love to, Marcy said without hesitation. I can't believe it. He wants me to go into his house. I secretly hoped he'd ask, but I certainly didn't expect that moment would be now. In fact, I kind of thought it would never happen. My luck in life had felt so run out. When anything good happens, I'm in shock and awe. Letting him lead me through the front door, I saw how simple his home was. My spacious mansion might have been beautiful and full of nice art and full of light, but there was something I liked about the simplicity of Taylor's home. I suppose the huge nature of my home felt lonely. It felt like I was so small and insignificant. This home felt attainable, something I could clean with no worries about missing spots. This felt cozy, relaxed. A life I wanted. A life I needed. Taylor stood at the kitchen sink, looking at Marcy. Really, I do love being with you. Admitted the strong man with a blush and smile, not sure how to form his words. His shoulders tensed again, like they had done before. Walking to him, she couldn't help but place a hand right in the middle of his flawless chest. Her long nails were painted red. She hadn't felt anything like that her entire life. Jeff was so weak and so frail compared to the hunk before her. Leaning in, Marcy kissed his cheek. His breath became shaky, but he chuckled off his nerves. That was nice. He spoke softly. I'd like more. If you're okay with it. Smiling, Marcy kissed his lips. No hesitation, she moaned to him as he staggered back against the kitchen counter. Both mourned each other. Taylor placed his hands on Marcy's hips, massaging her thighs. I should go down on him. Show him how much I love him. Wrap my warm lips around his cock. It's been so long since I've wanted to please a man. Or maybe not. Now we're heading to the living room. What is he doing? On the couch, Taylor places his head into Marcy's chest, both now in just pants. Their upper bodies were exposed and ready. He let her remove her bra. Admittedly, he had no idea how to remove one himself. He kissed her hard nipples a few times. His lips feel so warm upon my flesh. So gentle. He is a delicate lover. Marcy smiled and closed her eyes for a moment. Perhaps unexpectedly, he rolled over on his back, letting her straddle him. His muscles flexed, which Marcy eyed with passion. She pressed her hands into his bare chest. She placed a hand on his crotch, feeling his erection through his pants. His mouth is open ever so slightly, sweat pours from his armpits.
Am I a good boy?
Whispered Taylor. It certainly was a risk to say.
Something like that.
Some find that sort of thing a turn on, others might bolt for the door. Yes?
You are.
Smiled Marcy, looking into Taylor's eyes. As Marcy grapples with tears, uncertainty, and the haunting echoes of a turbulent night, we're left wondering what awaits her in the upcoming chapters. Stay tuned for the next installment, where the story takes another unpredictable turn. The saga continues.